Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am back to do a reading because I saw I was reading on Libby's Facebook group. I was reading on her group and somebody dropped a name to the group, and I decided I wanted to do a reading on that person because um, all of the stuff that's happening with the leader of the Democratic Party in the House is now coming to light. If you can hear coughing, that's my husband in the other room. So, just send him lots of white light that he's, gonna be okay. We've both been having like health things for the last few days, so mostly stomach, but sometimes I have coughs and stuff like that. So I've been doing the lozenge thing. But anyway, they dropped his name, DJ Hamlin, as an independent candidate who's running against Jeffries in New York's District 8. And in conjunction with that, I was watching Libby's channel earlier today. She does really great readings and stuff. And her channel is called Maestro Tarot, Maighstir. And she said that Maestar is her guide. That's the name of her guide. And it's the Gaelic name for master, I think is what she said. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Libby watches my channel, but if she did, then she could correct me if I'm completely messed up that name. But at any rate, that's her channel, and I'm giving it a plug because she did a reading today that I thought was absolutely phenomenal, and it was an hour and 7 minutes long, but it was so good, I was just on the edge of my seat throughout the whole reading. Thought it was really good, but it is what inspired me to do a reading on DJ Hamlin. She made a mention in the video of Mamdani, who's the mayor of New York, and who's been making like massive changes in New York City. You want to talk about America's mayor? That's the guy. I mean, it's not the other ghoul. It's not that other ghoul. It's Mamdani. He is really doing the thing. He's walking the walk. He's talking the talk, and he's doing everything that he should be doing to support and help the people of his city. And DJ Hamlin is I think he's a restaurant management type person. He's like in management of restaurant or whatever. He's a millennial. He's in his 30s, and he decided to run against Jeffries for New York District 8. He's not running as a Democrat. He's running as an independent. And what I thought was really, really cool is when I saw his name, I just got immediate, you have to do a reading on him. And my guides were telling me, oh, you got to do a reading on him. You got to see what the cards have to say about him. So I pulled up my deck and I'm going to do a reading on him. And I thought I'd do it just for the channel. But his name is DJ Hamlin. He's I think he's restaurant management. He doesn't have any political experience at all, but he supports things like Medicare for all. He supports like getting money out of politics, the general progressive, things that progressive people like Bernie and AOC are wanting. So this guy is, because he can't run as a Democrat because Jeffries is already in that slot, and everybody's saying it's a long shot candidacy. So I don't know if it's a long shot candidacy or if he's got potential to defeat. Now, I have seen in so many instances people who thought that these corporatist Democrats were going to win and they were going to like walk away with it. But given how Mamdani is doing so much good in his city, I want to see if the guides can give me some information about DJ Hamlin, who was inspired by Mamdani to run for this particular seat. The seat is in Brooklyn and Queens, I think, parts of Queens in New York City. And with if he can get a little bit of help from AOC or from Mamdani, two of the most popular progressives in politics, he might be able to pull off a win. But I'm not sure that they're going to be willing to do that because, it's their party. And, everybody's like going to vote blue no matter who. And they're afraid to vote independent. So, there's a lot of there's pros and cons to Hamlin's running, but I want to see if if the energy right now, and I may pull cards on him later, like closer to November, to see if he has a chance of winning, if we can get his name really out there where people in the 8th district, if they're really ticked off at Jeffries because of the recent shenanigans that he's been up to, um, what they could do. And the base of the deck is Magician, which I think is personified in Jeffries. He is somebody who's going to. He is so in the. He has so much millionaire billionaire help, support and stuff like that. And people are getting tired of the billionaires coming in and buying elections. And that's basically what they're doing. What these organizations and these groups are doing is they're basically buying the elections, and they're trying to get their will, get their, corporate Dems into the seat. But if DJ Hamlin were to pull this off, he would basically blow everything up for the Democrats, for the corporate Democrats. And they are scared, which is they have every reason to be, because people do not want a candidate who's just going to say, I don't like the big fat orange problem and we need to vote for a Democrat just to get the big fat orange problem out. Okay? They want somebody who's going to fight for policies that are going to affect their lives in a positive way. And if they just get another corporate Dem, then what's going to happen is the corporate Dem's not going to do anything because they like the status quo, because it feathers their nest. So that's where we're at here. So, what can you tell me? What can you tell me about DJ Hamlin, who's running for the 8th district in New York City? What can you tell? As an independent. He's not a Democrat, he's not a Republican, he's an independent. Inspired by Mandani, which I think that's a feather in his nest right there, because he is inspired by Mandani, and he believes in the things that Mandani believes in. And he's seeing his success of Mandani in New York City. So let's see what happens. And I think Mamdani has a 69% approval rating, which is pretty damn good. So that's pretty incredible. Okay, so here we go. So the card for the reading is the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is, as many say, it's about the moving forward, the making up their mind to do it and to giving it a go, I think. And yeah, the he is. I'm just grabbing my cheat sheet here. Sorry about that. I am sore throat, The passion is moving you forward very quickly. So yeah, he is moving ahead very quickly. I don't know. I think he needs more name recognition. I think this is what this is about. He's trying to get the name recognition. He's trying to get the acknowledgement that he is, doing the thing. He's probably doing a lot of walking and a lot of knocking on doors and things like that to get his name out there. I've not heard anything about him in the mainstream, in the media. Nobody's really talked about him. Nobody's really mentioned him. And with all the stuff that's coming out about meetings and secret stuff with you know who, well, you may not know who, but with the leader of the Democrats and the son-in-law of the big fat orange problem, I think that this is going to propel him into the national spotlight. I think that people are going to start paying attention to him and seeing who he is, Googling his name, finding out who he is, and finding out if he's got a chance of winning and helping his campaign and what have you. So I think that he is the I don't like any of the party's candidates person. And keep in mind, Bernie Sanders, who ran for the Senate, I think it was in 82, he had been mayor of Burlington, Vermont. and he ran for the Senate and he won by like 6 or 7 votes. And he's been an independent in the Senate since 82, I think. So he's been there for a long time, and he's a progressive, and he's most well-known progressive I think that there is. And now he's in his 80s and he's still in the Senate, but he's inspired so many people like AOC and probably Mandani and Al Sayed, who's running in Michigan to the Senate for the Senate. So this is moving forward. This is him deciding, making the decision to move ahead with this and to do it. And so, as I said, he doesn't have any experience in the political realm, but neither did AOC. She was a bartender in New York, and she ran and she won. So yeah, crossed with the Four of Pentacles. Well, this is the big money interests that are like probably going to put some money into that. They're going to have to put money into this race if he starts getting recognition. And my goal is on this channel is to have you have anybody who sees this reading to look up DJ Hamlin and to find out if they can help his campaign, or what they can do, because everybody seems convinced that that Jeffries is going to become the Speaker of the House when the Democrats get into the House. But if you've got somebody who is just going for big moneyed interests and doesn't really care about the people, then you're going to be back with, it doesn't matter what party. It doesn't matter what party it is. It just matters that people are going to be, they're going to be, you know, they're going to be say that this is what's going to add to the apathy that people have about politics. They're going to say, well, why should I bother? They're all the same. That is the argument that people are coming up with. Why should I bother? They're all the same. And they're seeing this play out in New York with this guy. And and now they're seeing this DJ Hamlin come out, and DJ Hamlin believes in the things that they believe in, and they may just buck it, and they may say, instead of voting for a Republican, I'm going to vote for an independent who actually believes in the same things that I believe in. So that's what this is. This is the fear of, going towards something different, but also, Pentacles is not just about money, even though in this instance in politics in the US, money is usually what it's about, usually what motivates a lot of these people. But this guy is coming into the race, and he is an independent, and he is not interested in big money stuff. So he's probably on the streets right now as we speak, and he's probably knocking on doors and talking to people and trying to, doing exactly what Mamdani did before he became mayor of New York City. So he's probably out there doing the exact same stuff. So at least I hope so. I mean, this is my hope. I don't know him. I don't know very much about him. I just Googled him this morning to find out if there was some information about him. But I'm getting the energy that he is really motivated, and he's like, versus Goliath kind of thing, and he's like David in this thing, and Jeffries is the Goliath. And if he defeats Jeffries, that's going to be like the biggest upset of the entire midterm election. If he is able to unseat Jeffries, he is going to be massive. This is going to be even bigger than Mamdani winning the New York City mayoral election. So keep an eye on New York. The underarching energy is the Empress. And the Empress, I think, in this is about the money and about the power that these people have connected to each other. And also keeping in mind that the person who inspired Jeffries is actually Nancy Pelosi. So Pelosi is the one who's actually behind Jeffries, and she sees him as being her 2.0, I guess you could say. So I see this as being the underarching energy, as being this Pelosi figure, this rich and powerful female figure who is trying to keep the status quo. And she's fighting hand over fist to keep the status quo. And her guy is that one person. So this is the underarching energy. This is what he's really going against. He's going up against this powerhouse of a candidate to try and win an election based on what the people want, as opposed to what he wants, or what Billionaires want. In the immediate past, you have the Knight of Swords. And here's the royal cards are always for me a little bit difficult to remember. Okay, you are in the midst of a project or situation that's very important to you. You know what you want to do and precisely how you're going to do it. So, in the immediate past, you have this. Um, I think this isn't really about Hamlin more in as much as it's about Jeffries. It's about the status quo, about you know what you have to do or what you think you have to do in order to win. And so, as I said, Goliath, David versus Goliath. This is like Hamlin is the David figure in this scenario because this guy is so huge and everybody in the country knows who he is. And that may be a good thing or that may be a bad thing. But now with all the news that's coming out about him, this may be a two-edged sword for him. The overarching energy is the Three of Cups. This is trying to well, I think it's coming together and trying to find something new. And I think that this is uh I think that this is that people are finally coming to the point where they're like going, well, you know, I really do not like what's happening. And I'm going to get together with my neighbors and my friends and I'm going to talk to them and I'm going to talk it up and I'm going to see what they think. And so it's like the coming together. The people behind the scenes are going to come together and they're going to talk and discuss this and they're going to find out if this is going to be a good option for them. Like I said, a lot of people are saying blue, vote blue no matter who. In most instances, I would say yes, definitely that is a good thing to do. I have to vote in the Senate race with I have to vote for Cory Booker. I don't want to vote for Cory Booker. I don't like Cory Booker, but I have no real options. There's a Republican, there's a Democrat, and I have to vote for the Democrat in that instance. But if you've got a race where you've got an independent who is running and they're saying, "Oh, this is going to divide up the Democrats." Well, yeah, in some instances it might divide up the Democrats. But if people are so put out with what Jeffries is doing and they have a Republican candidate who may not be perfect and may not be saying all the right things, but he's not getting all this money from these places, they may go to him. So the thing is, I think the people, my message to the people in Queens and Brooklyn, New York, talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends about this race. Talk to them. See what they think. See what their thoughts are. Get a little bit of a gauge of your community, of what's going on in that community to find out if it's a good idea to vote for an independent in this instance. Because if you go in and you just vote for the independent and and you've got a Republican versus a Democrat and you know what the Republicans are all about and then you vote for the Democrat and you're not happy with the Democrat that you're voting for, then you might end up shooting yourself in the foot. So the best thing that I could suggest is talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, talk to the people around you, and I hope that Hamlin will go out and talk to his community and really touch base with his community and tell them what he believes and tell him what he's doing and tell them what Jeffries is doing and who he's talking to and the people that he's hanging out with and the people he's kind of creating a connection to because you know the corporatists are losing in just about every scenario. I mean, you've got a lot of progressives who are winning now because they are talking about the issues that matter to people. And the corporatists are just against the big fat orange problem. That's the only thing that they have to talk about is that they're against the big fat orange problem, that they don't like the big fat orange problem, that they don't like him, they don't like his family, they don't like his girlfriends, they don't like anything about him, they don't like the corruption, they don't like all this. But what is happening in New York or with this particular race is you've got a independent running against a corrupted Democrat. And you know And a lot of people say that the Democrats are the corporate Democrats are nothing more than Republicans who are pretty good on social issues. Well, social issues aren't going to put food on people's tables, and it's not going to put gas in their cars. Okay, that's just my take on it, and I think that what do I know? I don't live in Brooklyn. I don't live in Queens. I don't know. I'm registered in New Jersey, so they may not like me anyway. They may not want to hear what I have to say about that anyway. But yeah, in the immediate future, we have the Five of Pentacles. This is leaving people out in the cold, and I think that this race overall is going to decide who's going to be left out in the cold. Is it the corporatists that are going to be left out in the cold, or is it the voters that are going to be left out in the cold? Because people know instinctively that if they vote for a corporatist, they will be left out in the cold, because that is what's always happened. And now Jeffries is saying that he doesn't believe in Medicare for all. Excuse me? I mean, I live in Germany. I live in Europe. And we have universal health care here. People who live here can go to the dentist. My husband has a dental appointment in 2 days. I went to the gynecologist yesterday. I mean, come on. So this is basically, to me, this is telling me everything I need to know about this race. Is the Five of Pentacles is that either the voters themselves are going to be left out in the cold, or the corporatists are going to be left out in the cold, and it's up to the people of New York's District 8 to decide what's going to happen to them. This is for entertainment only. I'm not doing political ads. I'm just saying that this is what the cards are telling me, that this is what I think is going to happen, that either the corporatists are going to be left out in the cold, or the voters themselves are going to be left out in the cold. And depending on how people vote will depend on who's going to be left out in the cold. Internally, we have the devil. And I think the devil is that corporatist energy. I'm not saying that, this is that corruptive energy. Now, is somebody who has no political experience whatsoever, are they better for this seat than the person who is been caught in a corruptive conversation with somebody? I don't know. But internally, I think he's realizing that this was a big, huge mistake, because his numbers are going to go down. I don't think you have to read cards to be able to see that. People are not going to be trusting of him anymore. I was watching Linda G the other day, and she said, "Oh, I am so disappointed in him. I'm so disappointed in him." And I was like, "Yeah." And she's out in California, and I'm in Germany, and I'm disappointed in him. I mean, imagine how the people of District 8 feel. Their representative has basically knifed them in the back twice over. Yeah. Externally, we have the Eight of Wands. This is moving forward. So this is the energy of moving forward. That I think that Hamlin is going to play off on this. He's going to actually, if he gets some money to run some ads in his district, he's going to use that. He's going to use that to his own benefit. He's going to say, "Look, this is what's happened. This district has voted Democrat for like however many years, and look at where it's gotten us. Look at where it's gotten the people. We're not happy with this. We're not pleased with this." And this is the him moving forward with his messaging. Hopes and fears is the Two of Pentacles. This is weighing your options and deciding which way you're going to go. This is also shown often where you're juggling the information that you have and trying to determine whether or not this is going to work for you, or if it's going to work against you. I think that it's going to work for the benefit of DJ Hamlin. That's what I think. I don't know him. I don't know much about him. I saw a picture of him when I did my Google search earlier today. I'm just reading it. This is like a cold read. This is what I'm getting. That, that he has the option that he can go forward and he can use this messaging, and he can say, "Look, this is what you have been living with, And this is the kind of candidate that this person is. Do you really want this anymore, or do you want something new, something fresh, something that's inspired by somebody that you really like? You know, the final outcome. This tells me that Hamlin does have a chance. Okay. And I know that this sounds really crazy because he's a long shot. He's a very, very long shot candidate. But given all the stuff that's been happening in the news, Mandani inspired candidate who believes in Medicare for all, who believes in a single payer system, who believes in getting money out of politics, who believes in, you know, um, supporting the people and working for the people. He may topple him. He may topple. There may be something happening in New York City that's going to be blow everybody's mind in November. I think November is going to be really huge. I think there's going to be a lot going on. At the base of the deck, we have Nine of Wands, which is tired. People are tired. They're tired of dealing with this. They're tired of contending with corruption, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this too, and all this, this waffling about and doing all this stuff, and then people are like going, what about me? What about my life? What about the grocery bills and going to the doctor and having to cut my pills in half and having to do all this stuff because nobody really listens to me in DC. Seven of Pentacles is the harvest. What you put in is what you get out. And yeah, and you have the Queen of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. And under that is the Star card. Or no, the High Priestess. So I think that what's coming is going to blow people's minds. It's going to be a huge, huge, huge thing. I'm not sure if he's going to win, but if he does win, given the energy as it is right now, if he does win this race, if Hamlin does win this race, it's going to be a huge wake-up call for the Democrats, especially for the corporatists in the Democratic Party. There is an uprising coming out within the Democratic Party. People are voting against corporatist people. They're voting against people who are, getting money from all these shadow organizations and all these people, all these groups, all these rich, super powerful people, and they do not like it. So I'm going to try the pendulum. Let's see if my pendulum is actually going to work for me today. Or should I try the rods? Maybe I'll try the rods. I haven't done these in a while, and they haven't worked for me in a while. So I'm going to try. Spirit, please show me yes. Please show me yes, please. Okay, they're not. They have not worked in like ages. I have not gotten these things to work for me for ages. Try this. Okay. So here's the pendulum. Let's see what the pendulum says. Okay, Nigel is usually pretty nice to me, and he usually works with me on this. I have to raise it up a little bit because or let me do this. Let me move the down a little bit. Okay, let's see if this works a little bit better. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Put my elbow on the computer here. Okay. Show me yes, please. Thank you, Nigel. Thank you. Show me no. Show me no, please. Okay, Nigel's hearing me. Thank you, Nigel. Okay, Nigel is my guide, as I haven't mentioned him in a while, but he is very, very good about helping me with readings and stuff. Okay, the topic here is DJ Hamlin, who is running for the 8th district in New York. Nigel, will DJ Hamlin win? And he says no, he won't win. Okay, clear, please. Okay. Nigel, will DJ Hamlin come close to winning? And he says maybe he will, but he has a chance of coming close. Okay, this is given the energy right now. Okay, Nigel, will Jeffries become Speaker of the House? No, he won't. Okay, Nigel, will AOC become Speaker of the House? That's where. Oh, he says yes. AOC may become Speaker. Okay, that would be good. Okay, thank you, Nigel. Nigel, will the Democrats take the House? Yes. He says yes, but it's very, very slow. It's not a very, will they take it by less than 5 seats? And he says no. Okay, I'm going to move this again because this is not, it's not, showing out where you can see it. My head will be chopped off at the top, but that's okay. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay. So I asked him, okay, okay, Nigel, clear, please. Okay. Will the Democrats take the Senate? Okay, you can't really see it, but he's like a yes. But it's so, so small by small number. Will they take it by 1 seat? No. Okay, will they take it by 2 seats? Yes. Okay, 1 or 2 seats. Okay, 2 seats is what he said. Will the Democratic majority be 5 seats or more? 5 seats or more? Saying no. Okay. Um, will the Democratic majority be 1 or 2 seats? Okay, he's saying yes. Okay, so this is for entertainment only. I haven't done political reading in a while, and so I'm not really sure. Oh, here, I got one. I gotta move this up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you don't see me woggling my fingers away. Okay, will Al Sayed win in Michigan? Oh, that's brilliant. Yes. Thank you. Will Tallarico in Texas win? You're saying yes. Okay, so given the current energy, those 2 races are going to be good. Okay. Um. Oh. Okay. Well, James Tallarico, Nick James Tallarico. Clear, please. Okay, thank you. Will John Ossoff win in Georgia? Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so given the current energies, it doesn't look like Hamlin is going to win in New York. However, and I say that with however because I think that it needs to be said that the energies can change. Okay? If he gets out there and just knocks on doors and does the thing, he could pull it off. Let's just ask the yes and no cards real quick and then I'll wrap up. Because I think that this is like a really, really important read here. Um, given this condition, if DJ Hamlin, I like that name, and I can't always remember it. I have to write it down and like look at the paper. Yeah, Hamlin. If DJ Hamlin is to win this race, if he gets out and gets to know the community, does he have a chance of winning? Does he have a chance? I mean, does it stand? I know that the energy says right now no, but if he has these, has the chutzpah, if you will, to get out there and really get his name out there, does he stand a chance of toppling? Because I like the Tower card that I got just now. So, I mean, the Tower card basically said that the corporate Dems are going to lose, or that, in that sense. But that could be for the speakership. It could be that he may be in line for the speakership, but the people in the Democratic Party may not like it, and so he may not get it. So let's just see. If he knocks doors and does the thing and really does exactly like Mandani did, does he have a chance of winning? He knocks doors and does exactly what Mandani did. Does he have a chance of winning? Yes. Okay. So that is um that is what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to get out there, knock on doors, really get to know the community, get his name out there, get people out there, do interviews, get on Midas Touch or get on some of these independent media things and really drive his message home. He might have a chance of winning, but he's going to have to do all those things you know, in order to, and you can't vote for somebody you don't know anything about. And just because there's a D behind his name or an I behind his name or whatever, you can't just vote for them because you don't know anything about them. So he's got to get his message out there. He's got to really promote his message and get it out there. And I'm saying that as somebody who has a bachelor's in political science. So this is why I'm interested in politics and why I'm interested in what's going on. And I'm not just interested in what's going on here or what's going on nationally, but in these local races, for the House seats and stuff. I'm also interested. So I want to see a lot of good turnout. I want to see a lot of good people, going out and going to the polls and not being afraid to vote. And right now, there's some stuff going on about voting by mail that has got me a little bit concerned. Um, because they are trying to do like a surveillance state type of thing for people who vote by mail, and I'm not up for that. I'm really not. But anyway, so this is for entertainment only. I'm just saying what I think, and hoping that Big Fat the algorithms or so doesn't come after me or whatever. But anyway, I mean, I'm just reading cards, just seeing what there is. Anyway, hope you have a great day. Yeah, that was interesting, and yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, I got a couple of mixed signals here, one with the pendulum, but the Tower card just keeps standing out in my mind. What that Tower card means, if that means for him or for Jeffries, I don't know. But I do know that he, that being inspired by somebody like Mandani, that's kind of a good thing. In this day and age, I think people are looking for that. They're looking for progressives who are really not afraid to. They're not afraid to go up against these big corporate interests. They're not, because the energy and the vibe of corporatism is just waning. And I think that that's what they're seeing in the primary season, where people were voting for the progressive candidates. I voted for the most progressive House. We had in our district in New Jersey. I think it's District 12. We had 12 candidates running for the Democratic nominee, for the Democratic nomination. And I had to research through every single name to find who was best for that district. And that took me at least an hour to 2 hours just to go through all of them and just to see what they stand for and where their values are. And the ones who said enhancing the ACA, I just said, I'm not interested, because that is just people who are corporatists. That's just code speak for corporatism for me. That's just how I interpreted it. And so I went through every single name and I, said, okay, this one's okay. This one, their website's hard to navigate and I can't find any information. And then that was it. And then I moved on. And so I had to find people not only had a website that I could navigate and read and that I could find out where they stood on the issues, but I also had to decipher the code speak that they had about what issues they believed in and what issues they didn't. And so I was going through all of that and I was going, okay, this is what I think, this is what I believe. And most of my voting has been because of healthcare, because I'm a breast cancer survivor and I support universal health care. I support Medicare for all. And so I wanted to vote for a candidate who supported Medicare for all. Period. Full stop. And I went through all of these names, and about probably half of them, were corporatist Democrats who were like enhance the ACA, and they probably had lots of money from lots of different people and stuff like that from these private, medical facilities and what have you. And the other half were, um, and then about well, 6 of them were like corporatist Dems, and then about 3 or 4 of them were like hard to, they believe in Medicare for all, but there were other issues that they weren't really, didn't really elaborate too much on, like climate change, climate science, ending wars, stuff like that. So I had to. I didn't just vote based on healthcare and on on universal healthcare. I voted based on ending wars and stuff like that, and not taking corporate money and stuff like that. So these were the people that I really was interested in. So I found one and I voted for him. And then about 2 days later, or 2 days after I sent my ballot in, I found out that this person was endorsed by Bernie Sanders and AOC. There you go. So I did my research and then I found out they were endorsed by AOC and Bernie Sanders, and I was like, oh, I think I voted for the right person. And then a few weeks later, I went and researched it to find out how he did, and he won. He's the Democratic nominee for this seat in my district in New Jersey. He's a progressive. He's a doctor. He's smart. He knows his salt. And I think he's going to win. I think he's got a really good chance of winning. I don't know if because in my district there's I don't know if there's a lot of rich people in the 12th district, but I do know that there are a lot of it's a very strong Democrat stronghold in that district. So yeah, and we had a representative who I knew absolutely nothing about, and she seemed to come across as a corporate Democrat, and she's retired. She's retired this year, so she's no longer going to be my representative. So yeah, so we'll have to see what happens with that because it's a hard call. But I think that what's happening is people are voting more for the progressive candidates. And this is why I think this DJ Hamlin is such an interesting figure because he's not a he's not a Democrat, he's not a Republican. He's running for a very, very strongly, you know, held Democratic seat. And maybe the reason he's running is because he's tired of the corruption as much as the rest of us are. So, right now the energy says he doesn't have a chance of winning, or he's a long shot candidate, which he may be. May very well be that he doesn't win. But he may send people thinking, and he may actually make people realize that taking money from all these big fat corporations and these big fat cats who are who think that they're better than everybody else, yeah, that they have a chance of you know they could be toppled at some point, and maybe that tower card was them being toppled at some point. Maybe not this time around because tarot doesn't really do timing. It just does what could what could come about or how things could end up. So so it's something that you have to take in mind. I mean, it may be that he loses this time and then in 2 years he runs again and wins. That could be too. We just have to wait and see what happens. and it's whatever happens, it's gonna be a long slog for everybody. So we'll see what happens. But at any rate, that's my take on it. I'm really happy that I got a yes on the Talarico and on Osif and on oh, who's the other one? Oh, El Sayed. I'm really happy that I got yeses on all three of those. So that's really cool. So we'll see what happens. But until then, I hope you have a great day, and I hope you take care. And I will post the link to Libby's video in the description box so that you can go to her reading. And it's very, very interesting reading. Take an hour, have a look at it. It's really, really good. I just absolutely think it's an awesome read. I think what she did, the time that she put into it was just amazing. So shout out to Libby, Meister Tarot, and I'll see you next time on here. Uh, Thank you and have a good day. And as always, namaste.